remains undefeated at the World Junior Hockey Championship. The Canadian squad beat Finland in Montreal last night. So Canada now faces the United States tomorrow in their final game of the round robin. Joining me now from our Montreal studio is Marcy Dimichele, a writer and editor with thehockeywriters.com. That's an online publication that features analysis, editorial opinion, and behind-the-scenes look at the NHL. Marcy, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Let's talk about this classic matchup, this New Year's Eve battle, which is a bit of a tradition now, between the USA and Canada. Can you set up the matchup for us?
Well, this is definitely going to be Canada's biggest test so far. No offense to the other countries that they face, but the USA is definitely going to be a stiff competition. I think for this matchup, Canada I would say they have a slight advantage when we're talking about power on the power play. Their power play has been really good this tournament. In the USA, that's something that they're a little bit weaker at. But in terms of skill, these teams are really closely matched. I think that for Canada, they have to just stick to their game plan that they've been using so far in this tournament. It's been working really well. I would say this team is a lot better than the one last year. I think that there's really no reason for them not to win the gold this time around, but the USA is definitely going to be their biggest competition.
Well, it's been a long time, I think, since anybody said that about a Canadian juniors team, because it's been since 2009 since they won a gold medal. So you mentioned skill. I want you to talk about the matchup, this potential rivalry between the American Jack Eichel and Connor McDavid of Team Canada.
Yeah, I mean, this is the classic matchup. The two potential first overall picks for the NHL draft, and everyone's going to be watching these two guys really closely. Eichel's been playing really well in the tournament. McDavid, I mean, he was injured. These are his first games back, and I mean, it's kind of a lot to put on a guy who's been out for a few weeks to just really step it up in such a big tournament. So, but everyone's eyes are going to be on these two guys. I don't know how much stock you want to put into one tournament. I think that Eichel can have a hat trick in tomorrow's game, and McDavid could have no points, but I don't think that that's going to have a big effect on their draft status. I think McDavid is still the consensus number one at this point, but it is going to be a lot of fun to watch these two guys go head to head, and that's going to be a matchup that it's kind of like the matchup within the matchup. So you already have these two great rivals. I mean, Canada, USA. When it comes to the juniors, that's the game that everybody's looking for. And then now you're talking about the two potential first overall picks playing against each other. So it's just going to kind of make this game, put even more focus on this game, make it even more exciting.
Well, hopefully McDavid can keep his gloves on this game. But let's talk about the goalkeeping matchup. So Team Canada's going back with Comrie for this battle. What do you make of that decision?
I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, when we're talking about which one is better, I can't say that there's a whole lot of difference between these two guys. I mean, Zach Fucale, he had a good game against the Finns. I mean, he let in a goal, but I think from what I can tell, I think the coach had already planned that he wanted to go with. He wanted them to take turns for every game. So it's kind of like this was going to happen regardless of how either of them played, because he wants to see exactly what he's got heading into the semifinals. So I think that this was already planned. I think that Fucale kind of has the edge when we're talking about going into the really important games coming up after this round robin. But I'm not all that surprised. I have a feeling that the coach had kind of already planned to have this two goalie system just to see kind of who has the edge. Yes. But if you want to know who would be playing the next game, that I'm not 100% sure.
No, I think it's going to remain to be seen who comes out ahead after this game tomorrow night. An important one. I know you'll have fun watching it, as will I. It's a happy New Year's Eve tradition. So, Marcy Dimichele joining us from Montreal. Thank you for your time and your analysis.
Thank you so much.
Well, many Canadians